Welcome to I Wrote That, a podcast where we bring authors and industry experts together to talk about all things books and make the journey to authorship just a little bit easier. My name is Larissa Sowen, and I am the CEO of Next Page Publishing, a hybrid publishing house where we help entrepreneurs write books to grow their businesses. Now, I'm on a mission to help aspiring authors feel like they are in control of the publishing journey and that they are supported by a team of experts who genuinely want the best for them and their books. If you are in the very beginning of your journey, or maybe you have a manuscript that you're finished and you're not sure how to get it out into the world, I encourage you to reach out to us at nextpagepublishing.net. You can schedule your free discovery call and find out how our team of experts can make your journey to being a published author easy, smooth, and successful. Now, without further ado, let's get on to our next amazing guest and make your journey to authorship a little less complicated. Welcome to another episode of I Wrote That. I'm so excited. We are well into season 4 at this point, but I've been holding out on Heather because she is like my rock star client that published her book in March. End of March, she published her book. And she has been doing some incredible things with Rise and Roar. So I'm really excited to dig into not only what the writing process was like for her, because it was intensive, but the editing, the design, the marketing piece of it that she's been going through and is now living in. It's just going to be an absolute awesome conversation. So my name is Larissa Sowen. I am the host of I Wrote That and the CEO of Next Page Publishing, where we help entrepreneurs like Heather write books so that they can grow their businesses, get on bigger speaking stages, get paid for their expertise because they are recognized as the pros that they are. So Heather LaFond is a best-selling author, and an award-winning international speaker, a psychic medium, and a spiritual mindset coach. She is an emerging thought leader. I wouldn't say emerging. She is a thought leader on empowering women to stop playing small, kill limiting beliefs, and start leading kick-ass lives. Her mission is to empower girls and women to stop settling, find their voice, and change the freaking world. Are you in? I love it. I am all in, Heather. I think you know that. I'm invested in you. So welcome to the show.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Let's do this. So tell me, in your own words, what is it like to be a best-selling author now?
It's really hard to grasp that, like, holy shit, I wrote a book.
Holy shit, you did, and you nailed it. You didn't just write a book, you wrote a book that's funny, it's engaging, it's witty, it makes you emotionally connected to you as the author, to them as the journey. Like, it's incredible. Going through that process, let's start with the saying yes, because I'm going to be honest, I just wrote about you in one of my upcoming books that I'm working on right now, of like, Heather was one of the first ones to be like, yeah, I want to write a book with you. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, really? And once I finally convinced myself that you didn't mistakenly say yes, and I didn't trick you into it, what was the process of yes, like, yes, I do want to be an author. Yes, I do want to write a book.
I've always just had this feeling that I wanted to write a book. I wanted to share some of the experiences I've been through, the challenges I've been through in my life. That's kind of the whole premise of my coaching, is to mentor others so they don't have to go through the same stuff. But the quickest way to the top is through mentorship, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I met you, you were a guest on my coach's little thing. You came into our group and shared about everything that you do. There was just something that was like, I need to talk to her. And then we had our connection call, and I was like, this is my girl. Like, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. I didn't really know what the heck I was going to write about at the time, but I was like, I'm going to work with you. Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of when you decide to say yes to someone, you don't have to have all the answers yet. Like, going at it alone, you do. You generally need to know what direction you're going. But when you have a coach, and I'm gonna say friend to talk to, you can really do that brainstorming that makes our ideas good into beautiful, transformative, empowering ideas. And I saw that so thoroughly throughout your book, even in the editing phase, going through it. So you wrote your book in about 16 weeks. Like you moved pretty quick. I know it probably didn't feel like that, but you did. And that was a pretty awesome pace. How was that for you?
There are some days where the words just like were able to flow easily and effortlessly. And then there are other days where it's like, crickets, so I just learned to go with the flow and really take advantage of those days when the words were flowing, and also to reach out to you when I got stuck and needed a little bit of help and assistance on what direction to go. I know it was really, really helpful too when you have another set of eyes, because like what you mean, right? When you're saying
Mhm.
something, because you're inside of yourself, you've been through all your experiences in life, like you've been with yourself, you know what you mean. But when you're trying to portray that message to other people, it's different, right? So sometimes I thought, okay, this is good, this is clear, and then you would read it and you're like, I'm not really sure what you mean here. So it was really helpful for me to be able to shift things so that everyone who reads it can really understand what the message is.
Hmm. And that's the power of hiring someone. Like I get a lot of people are like, oh, my sister's going to edit it for me, or my friend's going to read it and they're going to give me, and it's like, that won't work because they also know you and they'll fill in the blanks that aren't on paper. And so when someone who doesn't know you reads your book, they're confused. And a lot of times I was telling you, give me more of you. Like I want you. Like you're a really good teacher. You're an incredible teacher. You're a great mentor. But books are also about connecting as a human. And that was the biggest thing for you, was like, let's tell your story. And it was the very last thing you wrote, wasn't it? Was this your
Yes.
story at the very beginning of
Yeah.
the book, was the last thing you wrote. And it worked out wonderfully. Like I love it.
Well, and I didn't realize too how hard that still hit me until I was reading that to one of my friends and I started tearing up and I was like, oh shit, like I have some things to work through yet with this.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the power of writing it down, right? Like we think we're good. We can talk about it, we can think about it, and then we write it down and our brains process it differently. And you realize, ooh, there's still something hanging out there. So the writing process was fast, yet not fast. Like air quotes fast.
Right.
What about the editing process? Because we put you through multiple rounds of editing. I had the pleasure of dev editing your book. Ruth had the pleasure of the line editing and the proofreading. How was that for you to give over your book? Like you'd spent 16 weeks with it so closely, then all of a sudden it was like, here, take it, do things with it. What was that like?
I think it was pretty easy because of the level of trust that I have with you and with everyone that works with you. It was like when there's some parts, where you're like, I think Ruth was like, I don't know if like we can include this line because of copyright infringement or whatever. I was like, son of a gun, like I really want that in there.
Yes, we always do that. Like song lyrics are the worst. Like people love to put song lyrics. I think, did you have Taylor Swift in there? I'm the
Yeah,
problem. It's me. I think that's what it
yeah,
was. Yeah. The song lyrics are so heavily copyrighted. It's crazy, but I'm not a pro on that type of thing. And Ruth is. So that's why there's two of us, right? And
right.
so I was with you. I was like, oh, shoot. Like we got to get rid of that now. Now I've read the copyright rules around songs and I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, we should probably just like steer away from that, because when you become a big name and when they make your life story into a movie, um, we're gonna want to be clean and on the good side of that copyright stuff. You don't want T Swift coming after you. I mean, like,
No.
how cool would that be though? Like, I'm being sued by Taylor Swift. Not like you want to, but like,
Well,
how
and it was with
crazy.
love. It's not like it was like saying anything not good. It's kind of
Yeah.
like a shout out to her.
It
But
is a huge thing. Like defamatory is so
yeah,
different, right? And this was
right.
definitely not. This was with love. Absolutely. So
Yeah.
we had the editing process. We did the 3 rounds of editing. And again, we moved quick, like what, 6 to 8 weeks, I think. It was fast. Design. Let's talk about design, because your publishing program with us included everything. And you were one of the ones that did not do what I wanted you to do. And I'm so proud of you for that, because you were like, no, this is what I want. And I was like, get it, girl. Like, it's not my book. It's your book. Let's do it your way. And I kept giving you options. And you're like, no, I like the first one. And I'm like, okay. What was design like for you to finally get your cover and shoot me down so many times? Good for you. I'm proud of you.
It took a while to decide on what the cover should be. I just had this vision in my head of like a woman rising up from the ashes like a phoenix. I actually have a phoenix tattoo on my whole like upper back and shoulder. So the phoenix always has had a lot of value to me, a lot of meaning behind it. And I feel that this book represents everything that a phoenix is that we burn down the stuff that doesn't serve us and rise up, rise and roar, right?
Mhm.
So I think that, once we were able to to decide on what the cover should be like, that really like solidified things for me.
Yeah.
And two, like I kept thinking when I'd see all of the beautiful covers that you'd show me that you worked on, and I'm like, oh, like I don't want her to have wasted her time. It's kind of like that people pleasing, like,
Hmm.
and I was just like, no, this just doesn't feel right, this look here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was wicked proud of you. And every time one of my clients come back and be like, no, I don't like it. I'm like, good, thank you. Because I would so much rather you tell me you don't like something so I keep working and we nail it than you get something that you're semi proud of. I think cover art is such a monumental time in an author's life because up until then, it's basically been a Word document or a Google Doc that we've been working back and forth on. And it still looks like, a college essay. And you're like, is this really a book? Like, are we sure? And then you get the cover art and you're like, oh, there it is. And your cover, like once you didn't have to convince me. There was no convincing. I knew your cover was beautiful no matter what you choose. I just want to give you options, right? But once we picked it, it was like, yes, that's it. That's your cover. And I have it, you have it on your shelf. I have it on my shelf. It's tucked in right there. I was standing up, but then I added too many books and it couldn't stand up anymore. But like it's gorgeous. The pink is so you, and the orange and the fire and the woman, and it's so Heather and it's so on brand for you, which I think is so important. It's you, right? And it needs to be you. And that's the beauty of working with a partner in this process, is that I can show you options, but at the end of the day, you're still in control. It's you. It's always going to be you. Okay. Design. We did that. Marketing and publishing. Your book was actually quite smooth in the publishing space. Sometimes books can give me a run for my money in KDP, and then they're like, no, you have some weird line that is not a problem. Your book didn't do that to me. Thank goodness. It was very pleasant to publish. And the interior, we did graphics, we did lists, we made it pop so that your readers aren't bored when they're going through it. It's not just another book. It's a tool in our toolkit. And that's what I love about your book. And I know I'm going to say this because I know you would say it as well. You did kind of a stupid thing in planning a vacation right before your launch. So let's talk about the book launch and what your plans are to do it again.
Well, I mean, all in all, like everything worked out pretty good. But yeah, so we had a vacation, me and my partner Adrian. We took the kids down to Texas, road tripping, literally coming back like the day before my book launches. So couldn't really enjoy the trip because I was all stressed out about trying to make sure that I'm, reaching out to people to share and people to read a chapter and write a couple lines and all the things that you teach us to do. And I feel like it was a form of self-sabotage.
I would agree with that. I think you were nervous, and you and I had talked about this, and you talked about feeling very alone in the process, despite having me there. When it's a solo book, it does feel like you're alone. It doesn't matter how many people you have surrounding you. It can feel very lonely. And I remember sending you lots of messages of just love and support, but there's really nothing I can do on your end. But it worked out. You had a fabulous launch.
Yeah, I have a lot of supportive people in my world. Even like there's a lot of people that came out of the woodworks that I didn't even know were following me, that were sending pictures of themselves, like selfies when they got my book. And it was just awesome to have all that love and support. It was a big moment in my life. It was something totally amazing to have such support around.
Yes. And your people really show up when you do cool shit. And I think that's the big thing for a lot of authors that do choose to go through this alone is that one, they feel scared to ask for support. it feels awkward to them. Like I have a client right now who's not a coach, he's not an entrepreneur. He just wanted to write a story and then maybe kick into something. So all of a sudden he's selling and people aren't used to that. And it can feel very isolating and very lonely, but your community showed up. I saw your pictures. I was one of your pictures of like, hey, I got my book. I'm ecstatic. Like I cannot believe this is happening. And you did an in-person launch. Not many people do in-person launches anymore. So talk about that.
Yeah, so my friend Danny, she let me borrow her beautiful healing studio, and we had my book there. I had some refreshments. We had mimosas because in the book we have a line that it goes down quicker than a mimosa and a beer bong. So I
Mhm.
put the book. So we had some mimosas, and I created some beautiful phoenix wings to put on the wall so people could take their picture by it and stuff. And it was just a really, really good time.
Yeah. I would say despite self-sabotaging yourself, you nailed it. Like you did awesome. I'm sure the stress could have been less if you had not done the vacation before, but like outcome you nailed it. And you and I were just talking right before the show. You want to relaunch the book again, which again, I think a lot of people don't understand that they can do that anytime they want. So what's coming up for Rise and Roar?
Well, I'm relaunching in October. So I'm just going to be sharing more and more with people about the book. I've been reading little segments from the book and doing some reels with it and having some fun. That way you could see my personality. I'm a little bit feisty. I'm a little bit sweary. So just doing some fun things. I think that this book is a really, really great stepping stone for people that are having difficulty in making some decisions that, like get out of your own fucking way. Get out of your
Mhm.
way. We stop ourselves from being successful in our career, in relationships, in life, and being happy. And this book is a really great way to start to develop an awareness to the things that you're doing that aren't helping you and to shift some of that.
And I think one of the biggest testaments that you can have is when your editor says, I'm going to give this to my daughter, who is a 16-year-old struggling with all the 16-year-old things. That's Ruth's daughter. She's like, I need my kid to read this. That's a testament that your book is good, right? A mother is willing to give it to their kid, swear words and all. Like that's a testament. And I remember we were editing your book and you had just added the last part, which is actually the first part of the book, your story. And I was like, Heather, where are you in this? Like, there's no spice, there's no swear words, there's no attitude. And it was like, bring it in. And then you did. And it elevated your book so much. So this episode is going to be coming out in October. But I do want people to connect with you on Instagram because your Instagram is on fire. It is incredible. So, but usually I save this to the end. But what is your Instagram handle so people can connect with you there?
It's Heather _ LaFond _ empower rest. So it's like empower and goddess,
Okay,
empower rest.
Okay, perfect. We're going to put that link down below too, and you can follow her. And she's funny and she's witty, and you'll see me loving up on all of her stuff every day. I scroll through and I like her stuff and I listen in because you're fire, Heather. You are the phoenix who rises, and your book shows that over and over again. And you've gone one step further. You didn't rise just for yourself, you're rising for others now. So I want to transition a little bit away from the book into your coaching practice because I know insider secret here, you're in transition and you're moving towards something new and exciting. So talk about kind of the evolution of your coaching practice right from the moment where you said, screw this, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not going to live the small life. I'm not going to play small. I'm not going to hide myself anymore. I mean, you're what, 6 foot? Like there's no
Yeah.
hiding. There's no hiding you anymore. I'm 5'10" and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't hide. Like that's not
Yeah.
me. But our personalities kind of have to catch up to that. So talk about that whole journey to where you are now and where you're going.
Yeah. So when I first got started in the coaching industry, I was a personal trainer. I had lost 100 pounds and then decided that I wanted to help others who also struggled with their weight. And throughout that journey, I went from being extremely overweight to into bodybuilding. So very focused on my external appearance, not really dealing with the underlying issues of why I didn't feel good enough. And I saw a lot of that with my clients as well. It's kind of crazy how oftentimes our clients are a reflection of a past version of ourselves.
So
So it's
true.
kind of figuring it out as I was going. But I would see a lot of my clients would have really great success for a while, and then something would happen and it would send them spiraling back. And they would completely go back to where they started from, if not worse. And I kind of had like the yo-yo thing going with my weight for quite some time. And it wasn't until I had this cosmic 2x4 from the universe where I had squatted too heavy and ended up developing a hip injury. Like I heard it pop. And I was like, "Ooh, that can't be
Ooh,
good."
yeah.
And then it's like, yeah. So eventually I went to a physical therapist and stuff and dealt with that. But, I really don't feel that that was just the result of exercise. It was something that needed to happen, because then it's like, look, we've been trying to tell you that you need to go within, you need to look at these underlying issues here, and you're still focused on that external appearance. So we're going to make you stop. Like you're not
Mhm.
going to be able to do anything. And that's what happened. So with my fitness business, I had a group fitness facility at the time. I had other instructors and trainers that were working with me or for me, and a lot of people that came in there. And I had to slowly cut back on what I was doing because I couldn't do kickboxing anymore. I couldn't kick up that high with this hip injury. And slowly but surely we started cutting back. And then I was like, you know what, the thing that's really going to help people is one-on-one stuff, not this group stuff, because people come in, they have fun doing Zumba, they have fun doing kickboxing for 45 minutes, they go home and motorboat an entire pizza. It's not helping them.
Yes. I mean, no, no.
So I ran into an old friend. I went to a kirtan event at one of my friend's studios, and I ran into an old friend there, and she, when we were catching up, she kind of mentioned that she was doing a Reiki attunement ceremony. So you get the gift of Reiki so that you can do it on yourself the next day. I had no clue what Reiki was. And I was like, kind of in the mindset of like, whatever comes in front of me is what I'm meant to do. So I was like, well, this is coming in front of me for a reason. So I'm going to show up tomorrow. And that Reiki was really a tool for me to let go of a lot of anxiety that I had been experiencing my entire life. And through channeling that high vibrational energy, it started to open up a lot of gifts that I had like shoved down and tucked away. Growing up in a Roman Catholic household, being able to talk to spirits and see things and know things is like a big no-no.
No, no, you don't do
So,
that.
so I kind of kept that to myself, and I didn't really understand it too, because a lot of times when you don't have an understanding of what you're experiencing, when you have those abilities, it can be scary. Like you see shadows and stuff, and you equate shadows to being something dark, something bad, right? And so through studying and going to workshops and learning more about intuition, this started to open up, and it opened up pretty fast and to a pretty high level. I'm a humble person. So I'm not trying to brag, but I'm a really good fucking medium.
Mhm. You are. You are. I can attest to that. The stories you've told me, the connections you've made. Yes, you own that.
Yeah. So now my coaching looks more like taking your mind, body, your energy, and your spirit so they all can be in alignment with the highest version of yourself so that you can step into that. So there is some element of moving your body, but it's not like bodybuilding and extreme dieting. It's doing things that bring you joy, and movement is a great way to move emotions and to move energy, right? Because when we're sitting on our tush all day, you tend to feel like trash. But if you get up and move, or you turn on your favorite jam and you shake your booty, your mood can improve instantaneously. So, and just being able to get past a lot of the stuff that holds us back with mindset, which the book taps into a lot of that. but not at the level that we're able to when we do coaching sessions. So I had been introduced to some subconscious mindset work by my good friend Selena. She had become certified in timeline therapy, NLP, and hypnotherapy. And she put me through this 10-hour process of really getting to the root of stuff and healing it. And so that for the first time was able to allow me to release a lot of the baggage I had been carrying with me when it came to my enoughness and having to look a certain way, you know? And so through that process, I became inspired to get those certifications as well so that I can help my clients. So when it comes to our minds, that's how I help people, is through the subconscious. And it's beautiful because with our timeline therapy, we're able to get to the root of something. You know, you might sit there and think like, where does this stem from? Me not feeling good enough. And you're trying to think and think and think of in this lifetime. But when we do timeline therapy, we're able to go back to even past lives or through generations where this initially started. You take the lessons and bring them back to now, and you can heal instantaneously without having to talk through it and cry through it like you do in traditional talk therapy. So it's really powerful.
I just want to add two things before we cut back to our regularly scheduled program here. I hated my body pretty much the entire time growing up as a skinny teenager who was 5'10", like model-esque. I hated it. And I felt like I was my right to hate it. And I went through my entire 20s running marathons and triathlons. I did a half Ironman just to prove that my body was not a flabby sack of potatoes. And it was nowhere near a flabby sack of potatoes, I will tell you that. I am now in my 30s and I have recently had my own spiritual awakening. And I have never loved my body more. And I've never been softer. And I've never been squishier. And in my head now, all of a sudden, that's feminine and it's beautiful. And I should have a tummy. I have a whole friggin' baby maker in there. Like, I'm allowed to have a tummy. I've made babies in there. Like, I'm allowed. And it wasn't until I connected to that spiritual side of myself that I actually undid the trauma. And the second one is, we are in the era, we are in the age, the dimension, whatever you want to call it, of breaking generational cycles. Like, I am seeing it so much more. And people like you are the guides, the catalysts, the creators of safe space to do that. So if you are struggling, if you feel like 20-year-old me did, where you just hate your body and you can't see it for the beauty that it is, and nothing you're doing is working, it's likely not a diet that's going to fix it. It's not an exercise regimen that's going to fix it. It's Heather's program that's going to take you through all 4 facets of true healing that's going to get you there. So I want to give that plug for you, Heather, because I think what you're doing is wonderful. And I have seen the results in my own side, even just from reading your book. Like, I haven't actually been one of your coaching clients, and yet I know for a fact that you have what it takes to really guide people.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to go head back to the regular scheduled program. So thank you for that little interruption and the recap of all the amazing things that you're doing. Attention, all aspiring authors. Are you ready to turn your book dreams into reality? Look no further than Author Allies, your ultimate companion on the journey to becoming a published author. Picture this: a membership site that offers structure, accountability, skill development, and unwavering support to bring your book ideas to life. That's exactly what Author Allies provides. Dive into weekly writing workshops where you can focus on your goals and stay motivated. Need expert advice? Our monthly Ask the Expert sessions connect you directly with industry professionals for valuable insights. Engage with fellow members through our Beta Reader Switch program, perfect for refining your manuscript before publication. Get access to a list of our verified resources so that when it's time to edit, design, and publish your book, you know where to turn. You can also enhance your craft with our writing training modules. Complete the exercises designed to elevate your skills and participate in the challenges. And as an added bonus, you can enjoy exclusive discounts on our future programs to help you streamline your publishing services. And if you're looking for a little bit more personalized advice, you will have access as a member to our one-on-one coaches to provide tailored support from our experienced professionals. Your literary dreams are within reach within our community of like-minded authors and expert guidance. Visit nextpagepublishing.net to join the membership and create a community around you and your book that guarantees your success.
So now my coaching practice has evolved from being just focused on your external appearance. We do have some of like movement and finding balance in the body in my programs, but a lot of it is surrounded by taking these four areas and making them one, and that is your body through movement in ways that bring you joy, not torturous that you don't want to do, right? And fueling your body and your temple. And then also with energy, our energetics, not like, need to take a nap energy, but just your energetics, your beingness, your spirituality. So it's mind, body, spirit, and energy. So we take all those areas and bring them in and heal everything so that you can be the best version of yourself.
It's so well-rounded, and I just can't, to have a program like yours with the foundation, like you've walked every single one of those lines, and now you're getting into the meat of it. And a coach, a mentor, a spirit guide cannot do that unless they've done it themselves. And I see so much of that. And so I know you and I have talked about a second book, because Rise and Roar was just the tip of the iceberg, the top tier of the juicy little cake that you're creating over here for yourself. As you start to go into this with more information now of what it actually takes to write a book and like what that means and what that looks like, what's going to be different for book two? Like, what did you learn from book one that you would do differently for book two?
I started doing some stuff like just
I knew you would.
I told you I wanted to wait till like I got back from Kenya, but like so I started like plotting a timeline of like significant events in my life and like spiritual things. And also I've been keeping a journal after my mediumship sessions and Reiki sessions and some of the things that have been coming through on those. Because I find that every time I do a session, a new thing is revealed to me, a new ability, whether it's recently I've discovered I can communicate with animals on the other side when someone's little dog came in. And then I also, during a Reiki session, was accessing someone's past lives. So I was in her Akashic records.
Wow.
Without training to do any of this. Like it's just happening. So I'm like,
yeah,
I'm reading a journal.
I think, I got shivers when you said that, talking to past lives and past versions of us, because we're all just energy, right? We've been around for a billion years and we're just moving into physical forms. So that's really cool, Heather. I'm so proud of you. So you mentioned Kenya, and what you've been to Kenya before with your other coach on speaking, and what's coming up there that you want people to know about? Like, what is it about and what's it leading into?
So the Kenya, so technically when this is airing, this will be after Kenya.
Okay. So how was Kenya?
I haven't been there yet.
What are you expecting it to be? Maybe I'll have you back on afterwards and you can tell us how it actually went.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really transformational experience for myself. So we are going there. It's a keynote speaking and humanitarian tour. So we are going to be speaking to children in universities, which is like what they call their schools. So young adults and their mothers. And we're going to be going to some of the women's homes and helping around the house with some things, like maybe they need something repaired in their home. We're really going to be getting our hands dirty and helping these families. And I know one of the first places that we're going to be going is going to be to a healing center for women and children who have been abused. So that's going to be,
wow.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenging thing with me being so sensitive. So wanting to help, wanting to heal, but also with me being very sensitive, it's easy for me to get overwhelmed. And I'm free from that. I'm not claiming that that's going to happen because I'm going to have layers of protection in place and everything. But I feel a lot and I see a lot when it comes to people's hurt and pain. Mm-hmm. So and that can be overwhelming. And that's a big reason why in my college career, I was down the path of becoming a pediatrician, and I
Oh,
stopped
wow.
like 2 classes before taking my MCATs because of that sensitivity.
Mhm.
So
It's so hard. Yeah, absolutely. Crazy. Okay. With the last couple minutes of our show, I want to talk about how people can reach you and if you have any free offers for them.
yeah, so like we said a little earlier, you can find me on Instagram, Heather_LaFond_empower Russ. I'm also on Facebook. I do a lot of stuff on Facebook, and I have my free community there. It's called Becoming Unstoppable. So if you want to join that and check things out, you can feel free to do so. And if you'd like to be in my little community where we have it's a monthly fee, it's $37, but you get your first month for free if you want to hop into my 1111 Circle of Trust. We do a mediumship reading over Zoom every month. And then we also have a special guest come in and speak and share. So we had someone come in and talk about somatics. We had someone come in and talk about human design and astrology. So all the fun things. And then we do some fun little challenges and things in there too. So if you want to be a part of that and check it out, you get your first 30 days for free. So just send me a message on any of those platforms and I can hook you up.
$37 is a steal of a deal. Like you don't get anything for $37 a month nowadays. So like
Right.
take up that offer for sure. Okay. And the last question I have, Heather, which is the question I ask every one of my guests, what advice do you have for aspiring authors?
My advice is to just do it. Don't overthink it, and to be brave and put yourself in that book, right? It took a little bit of nudging from Larissa for me to do that, but people want to hear you, right? And if I didn't have all the cussy and the humorous analogies and all that stuff in my book, it wouldn't be me, because that's who I am. Is I'm a little bit spicy and sassy and funny, and I think that we were really able to portray my personality inside of my book. So don't be afraid to be real.
I wish I had pre set up. There's a line in Heather's book where she talks about something about explosive diarrhea. I can't remember the specifics about it, but I literally laughed out loud. I was like, oh my God, that is hilarious. So your book it does not shy away from the graphic analogies that make you like, what? That is so funny and true. So very well done in that aspect, Heather. Your book is a hit. We've seen it already. It's going to continue to do incredible things for you. It's going to pave the way for book 2 and whatever your career is bringing. As it transforms, this book will always be there for you, and it will always be that invitation to the world to connect with you as a human and show what it means to go from sad, quiet, hiding to loud and proud and out there and following your passions. Your book is a true testament to that. So congratulations on all your success, Heather. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of I Wrote That. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to our show so you don't miss any of our upcoming guests. And if this has led you to some inspiration to want to get started on your own authorship journey, whether you just have an idea or you have a manuscript that you're ready to publish, reach out to us at nextpagepublishing.net, and we will match you up with our team of experts to make the journey simple, easy, and smooth.